Very good evening. Premeditated murder has been stopped. Pakistan has been told in no uncertain terms that it is a rogue state. And it hasn't been told by India. It has been told by 13 very wise, extremely qualified jurists, the best in the world. The World Court has halted Pakistan's plot to hang an Indian innocent citizen to prove some ridiculous theory. Listen for yourself how Pakistan was humiliated at the global stage.
Under the present circumstances, it is appropriate for the court to order that Pakistan shall take all measures at its disposal to ensure that Mr. Jadhav is not executed pending the final decision in these proceedings, and shall inform the court of all the measures taken in implementation of the present order.
Yes, the globe, the world, the Court of Justice is watching every move in Pakistan, and the verdict has exposed a rogue state's lies once and for all. But a rattled Pakistan despairs at defeat, refusing to accept it. Listen to this murderous mentality of Pakistan.
After India stood exposed in state-sponsored terrorism, terror financing, spying and subversive activities, it has desperately tried to divert the world attention by presenting Kulbhushan's case from humanitarian angle. India is trying to defend a person whose actions have led to the killing of scores of innocent Pakistanis.
Well, if that was the case, then why, Pakistan, have you been snubbed by the highest legal authority in the world? It's quite clear from that Pakistani statement that Islamabad is feeling piqued. It is humiliated. And there are reasons, of course, for it to worry. Here are the hard facts that prove this contention. Pak contention over ICJ's jurisdiction dismissed by the World Court, which means that its credentials as a rogue state have been underlined. Hard fact 2. ICJ ruled India has the right to consular access to citizens under detention. That is, what does that mean? That Kulbhushan Jadhav is going to be able to tell India how Pakistan tortured him, abducted him, and incarcerated, and then illegally sentenced him to death. The truth will come right out. Hard fact 3. Pakistan's bilateral agreement contention rejected by the judges, which shows that its disregard for international law is a reality. Hard fact 4. Pakistan now must inform court of all measures taken to safeguard Jadhav. Its Kangaroo court has been dismantled. That is why India today has declared victory.
This order, though interim, is a very serious indictment of the kind of mockery in the name of judicial system that exists in Pakistan. Any form of judicial proceeding which is conducted in secrecy, which is conducted in darkness, and which is not open for any public gaze, lacks the very appearance of justice.
Should Pakistan now hand over Jadhav? It's been exposed. Its Kangaroo justice has been shredded, and its premeditated plot has been outed. It has no longer any reasons to hold on to Kulbhushan Jadhav, at least on moral grounds, at least on ethical grounds. Should it now just end the farce, as India described it, and hand Jadhav back to India? Let's just throw this open for debate. Joining us, Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi of the Bharatiya Janata Party. General Bakshi is with us also, as Colonel R.S.N. Singh. Barrister Zahir Sahid is here from Pakistan. And Brigadier Javed Hussain, another defense expert, joins us from Pakistan. we are hoping to have today a civil debate because there is nothing really more to be said in this matter. Colonel Arisan, I want to begin with you first. Is it now clear that Pakistan held a kangaroo trial in a court that was set up to sentence an innocent man to death in a manner that was completely premeditated? Colonel Arisan, is it now clear?
No, what Mr. Jaitley said just now, that holding trial in secrecy. I mean, on one hand, Pakistan, maintained that, his confessions were all voluntary. So if indeed his confessions were voluntary, then why was his trial secret? So that is, that duplicity has been understood by the, by the ICJ. And look at the, insinuations actually. The judgment has a lot of insinuations on Pakistan. Firstly, the ICJ has said that I mean you can construe that from the judgment. It says that by doubting the jurisprudence, I mean Pakistan, it has told Pakistan that you better change your international behavior. The second thing, as far as 2008 bilateral agreement is concerned, I mean it has trashed the sanctity of the bilateral countries getting into bilateral agreements with Pakistan. And thirdly, it has also castigated the prevailing judicial dispensation in Pakistan. And you rightly brought out at the beginning of the thing, the three major points that it has said, that it will ensure all measures to see to it that he is not executed pending final trial. Then it has said that and very significantly, the decision to stay his execution is unanimous. Unanimous, sir. I mean, and thirdly, it has also said that now this is very significant. It says that they have the 150-day deadline suggests that after August there may be immediate execution of Jadhav.
Yeah.
Now the courts have warned Pakistan to refrain from this. So I mean, what is left? I mean, look, Pakistan can ignore it, but let me tell you, if it ignores it, what is going to happen is that its stock is already low in the international arena.
No, Pakistan can't ignore it.
It may still survive as a state.
Pakistan, unfortunately, is not America.
Every country, if it ignores, every country will either treat the Pakistanis as saleable commodities. Somebody will, try and, bargain for its sovereignty, maybe for a UN veto somewhere, like China does. The Saudis will buy their men, in that, 39 member military alliance. Yeah. So Pakistan, I mean, has to choose.
Pakistan has to choose. I want to bring in Barrister Zahid Saeed and Brigadier Javed Hussain. Barrister, I want to begin by asking you, look, while the ICJ has not still commented on the merits of the case, if you read through the judgment, which is right here in front of me, it talks about several infractions. It goes on to say that you will have to report pretty much daily on the goings on in Pakistan with regards to the well-being of Mr. Jadhav, and therefore, in essence, what is being said is, and this bear in mind, sir, that you can't be trusted. That's a massive indictment, sir, of your legal process, Barrister. Massive indictment. There's no other way of looking at it.
Look, may I say something?
Yeah.
This is just these are just provisional measures, and they are without prejudice to a final settlement, a final ruling on jurisdiction as well as on merits.
No, I agree.
And the court made that very clear. And I, by the way, I had indicated to your channel several days ago that this is the practice of the court. if there are jurisdictional clauses, they
Sir,
will preserve the status quo till their decision.
Barrister,
so there's nothing very great about it.
Barrister, unfortunately,
it's
that's
normal.
not going to wash. The reason India went to the ICJ was because it apprehended, sir, that there would be a bodily harm. There would be bodily harm to Kulbhushan Jadhav, that there is a plot to murder Kulbhushan Jadhav. India, in fact, termed it premeditated murder. Even in its submission, it used that phrase. It also went further to suggest it was a farcical trial. By staying the execution, you have to admit, Barrister, you're a man of law, that somewhere that argument has resonated with the judges unanimously. Not one bit of dissent. How can you today say that Pakistan, you know...
Absolutely not.
Of course. Otherwise, they would have said nothing doing.
They
India,
specifically
go home.
said.
The case that Pakistan has...
No.
That there has been no infraction.
When there are jurisdictional clauses...
Consular access...
When there are jurisdictional clauses to be interpreted, they can't tell a party to go home.
There has been a violation of the convention and the protocol, both.
Go to the next stage.
The Vienna Convention and the Vienna Protocol, both have been violated. The judgment says it clearly, sir, which means that you were trying to carry out a summary execution without paying any regard to both.
That's rubbish.
The convention
that's
and
in
the protocol.
Indian propaganda.
Only rogue states do that.
We have given him full rights
states
of appeal.
do that.
And he has appealed.
We have given consular access
till
to even
mid-August. He's got that.
To even the terrorist who is in our custody. We gave you consular access. The same case is being applied on both sides of the border. Except India is interested.
Did you give consular access?
To whom?
Did you give consular access to the 40,000 Pakistani civilians you held soon after the war?
So we returned to you 90,000 soldiers. We returned to you 90,000 soldiers. Now I am telling you.
After 2 years.
No, 1 second. You could have taken
2 years of
1
blackmail.
second, sir, Barrister. If you felt there was an infraction of the law, you could have gone to the ICJ. Who stopped you? Who stopped you? The problem with Pakistan, unfortunately, is, sir, no one stopped you. You could have gone. If you felt that there was such a huge infraction, you could have got a restraining order.
We went to the ICJ. India refused to attend the ICJ.
No. That was in the context of a completely different case. Don't mix the cases. Different issues, different cases. Please. Let's today... No, don't play fast and loose, sir. You played fast and loose in your military courts. Don't play fast and loose on my show. This show is called India Upfront. It sticks to the facts. I am debating this on facts with you. You cannot deny tonight 15 judges have sat in judgment of Pakistan's case, unanimously agreed
this
there's
is
been
a
an
final
infraction,
decision.
asked you to stay a death sentence.
Do you say this is a final decision?
Come on, sir. I understand that. That is obvious, but they wouldn't have interfered had you played by the book. Why would they have? They've even told you that your entire trial is going to be monitored.
Every single
you have to report
case,
back.
They give provisional measures.
Okay.
To preserve the status quo.
Let's bring in Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi. Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi, a barrister, a good barrister from Pakistan, is in complete denial. Complete denial. Maybe you would like to pit your wits with him.
Denial of what?
Pit your wits against him.
You got provisional measures to keep the status quo. We were not going to alter the status quo.
Rahul.
Says who? Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead, sir.
Rahul, after this unanimous categorical decision of the International Court, now in my opinion, there is a strong question and there is a strong, you can say, incumbency on the part of Pakistan to prove its credibility. Because on the international level, if you look at the status of Pakistan, they are strategically becoming subservient either to America, now to China. Diplomatically becoming isolated. Now after today's incidents, they are judicially humiliated. Now if they want to say that ICJ was not having any jurisdiction, then in my opinion, you yourself have gone and pleaded in the same court. And when the decision is going against you, you are saying that it is not binding on us. This is ridiculous logic, that on one extent you are saying, another, when it is going against you, you are saying, I will not accept. And as far as Kulbhushan Jadhav's case is concerned, the basic premise was one video. I would like to remind, in the case of Ajmal Amir Kasab, there was a video which was seen by the whole world in international media, that he was having the lethal weapons in the hand, killing Indians, and he was caught when he was killing an Indian policeman. Still, we have provided him a transparent, clear trial in the open civilian court. On the others, and you have, forget about the transparent trial, you have not even provided a charge sheet of Kulbhushan Jadhav, and for which you have given a death sentence.
Not even the verdict.
Forget about these clear-cut trial. You are not giving counsel. Not even providing the charge sheet.
They pass a sentence.
So, in my opinion, there is a big question on the credibility of Pakistan.
A human life for them is a statistic, and they've carried out summary executions of at least 35 people over the last 4 weeks. Now, one second, barrister.
It's taken 800 human lives.
Oh, come on, barrister. Come on now. You know, look. We can now start hair splitting. I'm sorry, but we can we can continually hair split. I want to bring in Javed Hussain, Brigadier Javed Hussain. Brigadier Javed Hussain, I am sure tonight
think that whatever you say,
you don't have a leg to stand on, and I hope, in the interest of enlightened discourse, you would agree that Pakistan was being a bit too precipitate and was about to commit premeditated murder, and today it's taken the wisdom of 13.
Just one statistics about the human rights in Pakistan. When their percentage of minority at the time of creation of Pakistan was 23, now it is 1% in the 70 years.
That's true. I mean, you look at what's going on in Balochistan. You want to put this and pin this on India. Therefore, Kulbhushan Jadhav is such an important totemic symbol for you, and you want to hang him from the nearest lamppost, and you've been told now you can't do it. Look, and it's obvious. And let me ask you this.
As far as
were you about to commit premeditated murder?
I'm sorry.
Brigadier Javed Hussain?
ICJ is not a court of appeal.
Oh, come on, relax. I'm not asking you. No, barrister, I'm not asking you. Please, I'll come to you. Give me 30 seconds. Let me bring in Brigadier Javed Hussain. Brigadier Javed Hussain, reasonable man. I'm asking you, have you been stopped from committing premeditated murder? Simple question. Brigadier, can you hear me? Are we through? Can you hear me, Brigadier?
I can.
Yeah, well,
I can hear you, but not properly.
Okay. But have you been stopped from committing premeditated murder? Simple question.
No, absolutely not.
How do you say?
This is what the court has also said, that Mr. Hussain Mubarak Patel has to go through the full process. He has about 6 months, 5 or 6 months in which to complete this process. An appeal to the Army Chief, then to the High Court, then to the Supreme Court, and finally presidential pardon. This is what happened to the earlier spies. They were awarded death sentence, but then they were given presidential pardon, and they spent about 35 years in different jails. And when they were repatriated after 35 years, the Indian media asked those people, what were you doing there? Hum udhar jasusi kar rahe the.
Arey.
So don't be so naive that you think that
General Bakshi,
Hussain Mubarak Patel is an innocent Indian. He's not all that innocent.
Well,
he's a
then, sir,
just
what was the problem? What was then the problem?
What was the problem? He's a
Brigadier Javed
serving Indian naval officer.
Brigadier Javed. Brigadier Javed, you are a reasonable man.
I always thought that the Indian Army,
Brigadier Javed,
professional army, it will not, Indian Navy also, it will not allow serving officers to do business in another country. I mean, what kind of this thing is?
May I correct you on facts, Brigadier Javed? I'd like to point out to you in all sincerity, Brigadier Javed, kindly listen.
Hundreds of
Brigadier Javed,
women
we
and
have heard
children
you
and
with
men.
patience. Okay, we have heard you with patience, Brigadier Javed. Now kindly listen to my response. Kindly listen to my response. What I am trying to say is that here is an instant classic case where we had, like you and me, a retired soldier, a retired Navy commander who had taken up a job with the Merchant Navy, which is a logical thing for any naval officer to do after retirement. He was carrying out legitimate trade activities in Chabahar. One of your terrorist organizations run by the ISI abducted this man from Chabahar, sold him to the ISI. The ISI took him to Balochistan. We had two versions of where he was captured, 800 kilometers apart. He was tortured, then he was made to confess on camera with 100-odd editings. Then he was put before a Kangaroo court, and he was, without being given legal representation, he was sentenced to death. Now the fact of the matter is, he is not subject to the Army Act, the Pakistan Army Act. He is a civilian now. Why is a military court going to try him? Number one. Number two, even if a military court is to try him, you and I are old soldiers. There is a friend of the accused. There is a legal aid provided to everybody who faces a court-martial. You know that, and I know that. Why was this man not given a lawyer? Why did the Bar
just hand him
Council
back
of
to us.
Pakistan say
Just
that
hand
if
him back to
anybody
us.
takes up his case,
General,
he
you
will
know,
be
we can
removed
go
from
over
the bar.
we can go
I
over the
want to
fine print
answer
here
that.
constantly. I think the time has come and Pakistan should do the right thing. They should just hang him back to us. Hand him back to us, barrister. Just hand this man back to us. You've completely negated every precept of natural justice. This is a farcical trial. It's been proven. Hand him back to us.
Murder, how can we just send him back?
Barrister, hang him back to us. Hand him back to us, barrister. Let's get the barrister in. Let's show the barrister. I'm asking the barrister. Just hand him back to us.
Yes.
You lost the right.
I'm afraid you'll have to wait. You'll have to wait till the decision on merits, which will only decide whether or not you have the right to communicate with
No, are you going to give Consular access now? Will you be giving Consular access? Because you can't have an appeals process kick in without the man even knowing what he's being tried for. What he's been sentenced for.
Wait a second.
You haven't supplied him a copy of the verdict. You haven't supplied him a copy of the charge sheet. You haven't supplied his lawyer a copy of the verdict or the charge sheet. You haven't supplied India a copy of the verdict or the charge sheet. What are you doing?
Barrister,
we have never refused Consular contact. We have only said
ask a
it is
question.
preconditional.
Barrister Saab.
We have said it's conditional.
Barrister Saab.
It's conditional on India providing some information.
Barrister Saab, consider a hypothetical case.
I want to respond to General G.D. Bakshi.
A person travelling on 2 Indian passports, one a Muslim.
Barrister Saab. Barrister Saab.
You didn't give us
Barrister
any
Saab, please consider a hypothetical situation. If we were to apprehend or catch a Pakistani national, then extract a video confession out of him, then say that he was involved in so and so activities, then we carry out a secret trial, and then we carry out his execution. What will be the reaction of your country, barrister?
Answer. Barrister, answer.
Tell me.
Straight question.
Look.
And this is not last of the situation, and this is not the last of the cases.
He could have been.
Remember, your entire country is teeming.
If he alleged murder, he can be tried before the session
of your
judge.
Own asking.
But the result will be the same.
This is not the first and the last case. There will be many nationalities involved in this kind of a situation with Pakistan. So
you have
consider
just kidnapped Colonel Abhi,
How many military courts you set up?
Pakistani Colonel Abhi
No
from
matter
Nepal.
how many military
And
courts you
you
set up,
put him
this is not
underground
going to be
and
the first
under
and
the
last
carpet.
case.
Okay. I think we have a situation here. And the situation is very simple. We have an entire side that wants to go out of its way to negate the import of what we have heard General G.D. Bakshi from the learned men of the ICJ. You have a complete denial attitude. And you have, and I want to play out that clip from the Pakistani media, where the Pakistani media is going ballistic. The Pakistani media is connecting individuals from the opposition that are attacking their own government for botching up this entire matter. Let's play out that clip. Let's play out the clip from the Pakistani channel. Let's play it out. Listen to this. Very interesting.
After India stood exposed in state-sponsored terrorism, terror financing, spying and subversive activities, it has desperately tried to divert the world attention by presenting Kulbhushan's case from humanitarian angle. India is trying to defend a person whose actions have led to the killing of scores of innocent Pakistanis.
कौम को धोखा देने का ऐद कर रखा है, ख्वाब सी पैक की हकीकत हो या गुलभूषण का केस हो, आज तक नवाज शरीफ साहब ने गुलभूषण का नाम नहीं लिया, इनका वजू टूटता है.
So the government there, and you heard it very clearly. You heard the spokesperson coming out and trying to put this real positive spin on the story. And then you have the Pakistani media playing out a conversation with an opposition politician who says that Nawaz Sharif has taken it upon himself to deceive the public of Pakistan. Now, Barrister, explain this. Explain why your opposition today is attacking your government of letting down the people of Pakistan. It's quite clear, sir, you failed in making a compelling argument for the farcical trial you've conducted. I'm not saying it. You heard that. The GOTV broadcast.
Look, the Pakistan media is overreacting.
Yeah.
Nothing has happened as yet.
Yeah, they're all
the court has decided is that we'll
like
go to the
Kulbhushan Jadhav, every Pakistani journalist is an Indian agent.
Merits.
Yeah, they're all Indian agents. They're overreacting. They want to criticize their government.
The problem is,
so I don't know. I think your problem is
single thing is India
you're
Pakistan cricket match.
obfuscating. Like your barrister got up in court and obfuscated and was caught out. You're obfuscating.
Barrister.
But
General Bakshi wants to come in. Barrister, he
that
says.
we respect the court and we will probably respect
No, it is my turn.
Yes,
now.
General.
Barrister.
I want to respond to G.D. Bakshi.
Barrister, kindly listen.
And the
Barrister,
speaker after
kindly
him.
listen. We will hear you. We will hear you. We would like to hear you. I would just want to say something. As far as the International Court of Justice trial is concerned, Barrister, you are aware that all the points that were raised by Pakistan first adds to the jurisdiction of the court. Prima facie jurisdiction, the court turned down your plea. Second fact was that you said that this does not apply. The Vienna Convention does not apply. It is superseded by the 2008 bilateral agreement. The court turned that argument down. You will agree, Barrister. I'm just going very rationally. The third point you raised was that the the Vienna Convention is not applicable. Let me just finish. The Vienna Convention is not applicable to spies and terrorists. The International Court turned that argument down. You said there was no urgency. The International Court turned that argument down. The International Court took umbrage on the fact that you had not provided consular access. You had not even provided any legal aid. You had given no commitment that till such trial was concluded, you would not execute him. The 11-member bench ruled against you unanimously, and it also stated that this judgment was binding. If that is not an indictment of Pakistan, please tell me what else is. You are a legal man.
Yeah, legal man.
Look, It's not an indictment. All they've said is that yes, there is a jurisdictional clause which apparently gives us jurisdiction. But this matter will be decided at the later stage when we have memorials on jurisdiction and counter memorials, and then again on merits. This they'll have to go into it in a separate stage. So it is premature. But I agree that they want the status quo to be preserved.
No. Stop talking about status quo. This is what the judgment said. I'm going to read it out. Now you need to. Yes, Colonel Arison wants to come in. Colonel Arison, make your point, sir. Make your point.
Not only that, not only that, if I heard, if I understood Mr. Salve very, clearly, what he said is that as far as consular access is concerned, don't think that after having gone through all the process and then you tell you provide a consular access when nothing matters. You will have to go to the pre-trial stage. That means the whole trial will have to be conducted afresh. That is the implication, barrister. And if it is not so, then India is going to move on this issue.
The point is
again to the ICJ. Otherwise, it is prejudicial to natural justice.
Yes, the principle of restitution will be applied.
Certainly.
You understand the consequences.
Certainly.
I want to wrap this up and move to part 2 of this debate. One second, I just want to read out. No, listen. Listen, barrister.
Right.
We've heard you. You should have been arguing the case. Since you know so many of the facts, maybe you should have been arguing the case. You would have done a better job. One second, let me read out. In addition to, one second, sir, barrister, please.
On merits.
In addition to the issue of consular relations, it is a case in which it regrettably appears on a preliminary examination of the facts that the basic human rights of Mr. Jadhav have been violated by not allowing India to have consular access to him after his arrest during the pendency of the criminal proceedings against him in Pakistan. Here it is written, sir. It's a conclusion. It's been drawn by this court. It's been written in black and white. Today, you are in violation of basic human rights of Mr. Jadhav, and there is a real fear that you would have prejudiced the law entirely. That's where the problem is. We move on this show. We move on to part 2 of this debate. The part 2 will focus on the internal dimensions of this entire debate. And that has been brought to the forefront by the churlish response of the opposition. The opposition in this country has come out in a very circumspect way while welcoming the fact that this court, the World Court, has stayed the execution of Kulbhushan Jadhav. They have come out and suggested that it was perhaps not so wise to move an international forum. In fact, the UPA, the Congress party in particular, has come out and said that we had that option. We didn't exercise it because we didn't want to set a precedent, or at least we were wary of setting a precedent that might be invoked with some prejudice to India's own national interest on another issue at a later date. Yes, India today has walked the talk on saving Kulbhushan Jadhav. The World Court has stayed Pakistan's farcical trial and stayed the premeditated murder. India's counsel, the man who led the defense, Harish Salve, has credited the NDA government for this victory, saying that it took a huge risk by accepting the proposition to take this matter to an international court of justice. However, the Congress that led the UPA for 10 years and could not save Sarabjit and failed to punish Pakistan for its butchery on Captain Saurav Kalia is not convinced. Remember, Captain Saurav Kalia, father, moved the ICJ and got no support from the government. Just moments after the verdict, Congress leaders downplayed India's win and were reluctant to give credit to the NDA government. First, listen in to what Harish Salve said, and then we play out the 2 reactions from the Congress, juxtapose them.
Honorable Minister, she asked me, did I have any ideas? Could we do something? And I researched it, went back to her and said, yes, there appears to be an opening. She said, examine it. I examined it, and the rest is history. India owes it to the government of India and to a powerful legal system.
Where do we go beyond this? I think one would like to read it a little more carefully and examine the entire entire context in which we have successfully done this, because this issue had arisen about the late Lieutenant Kalia when we were in government. And at that time, as I recall, the hesitation that we had at that time was not to invite jurisdiction of the ICJ in areas in which we will not be very comfortable.
नहीं देखिए, अगर फैसला आ गया हिंदुस्तान के पक्ष में, जो लगता है कि आएगा क्योंकि अंतरिम फैसले इसी का हुआ है कि वियना कन्वेंशन के अंतर्गत उसका उल्लंघन हुआ है, तो काउंसलर एक्सेस जब मिलेगा तो नेचुरली काउंसलर एक्सेस के द्वारा अपील होगी, अपील के लिए वकील भेजे जाएंगे, और अगर वहां मेरी व्यक्तिगत कोई मदद चाहिए तो हम पूरे तरीके से तैयार हैं.
Kapil Sibal says, I'll be more than happy to help and give assistance to Kulbhushan Jadhav if the need arises. His own compatriot in the UPA government of your Salman Khurshid comes out and said the hesitation that we had at that time was not to invite ICJ in areas where we would not be confident and comfortable. So it could be inferred that the timidity of the UPA led to continued injustice for Captain Kalia, and most importantly, led to the death of Sarabjit. That's the inference.
Hello?
Let's throw this open for debate. Did the UPA, did the opposition and its timidity allow Pakistan to execute two individuals who are still crying out for justice? That's the fundamental question, and goes out straight to Alimuddin Khan and Dr. Samir Kaul in that order. Alimuddin Khan, I want to begin by asking you, can you hear me, Alimuddin Khan? If you can hear me, I'm asking you this question. Should the UPA have exercised the route and the options exercised by the NDA? Did its timidity cost us 2 Indian lives? Very strange and very straight questions to you. Alimuddin Khan, is he connected? I don't think he's connected. Can you hear me, Alimuddin Khan?
Yeah,
Say yes if you can hear me.
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Good, great.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you the question. Former UPA minister comes out and says very clearly that they had hesitated at the time, when the time for Captain Saurabh Kalia's Kargil martyrs case came up, and the debate was whether they should approach the ICJ. At that time, they said that they would not want to invite the ICJ in areas where India would not be comfortable. Do you think you made a big mistake, strategic error? Had you perhaps moved the ICJ, you would have got justice.
You learn from mistakes. Maybe that was the mistake, and maybe at that time circumstances were different, and that time government did not thought that.
What were the circumstances, sir? How different can they be in the context of India and Pakistan?
That was the appropriate time to approach ICJ. But anyhow, Congress has welcomed the move, and we have appreciated that our diplomats and our lawyers got victory over there.
It's not an embracing welcome of this move. They're still saying that, you know, when we were asked the same question, we were reluctant because it's going to open us up. I'm asking you, do you believe it was a strategic error on the part of this government? Is it going to expose us in international forums? Will it open us up to third-party intervention when it comes to other issues? Simple question to you, Alimuddin Khan. Yes, no?
Rahulji, that was the main reason, because UPA Congress mindset was in a long-standing diplomacy that there should be no third-party intervention created anywhere in any area. So that's why Congress always reluctant to create a third-party intervention. That might be reason they did not approach this ICJ at the time. But now, when government already approached, decision is in our favor. So I think this is a good chance. This is a good chance. This is a good chance. We should pursue the release of Kulbhushan Jadhav and bring back him to home.
In an international court, Colonel RSN, this is the equivalent of a legal surgical strike. The Modi government seems to have kept Pakistan totally on the wrong foot. There's no other way of looking at it.
No, that is what one option was to leave Kulbhushan to his own fate. The second option was to try and leverage on every available means, and that is why what the government has done. But you know, some of the legal luminaries, I mean, whom you interviewed, they are no patch on Mr. Salve as far as, you know, that spirit of nationalism is concerned. Now I'm not making any judgment. It's smacked from their expressions. And let me tell you, it has been a curse for this country that so many, you know, right from the time of, you know, independence struggle, we have had many crooks, cheats, frauds, doubling up as lawyers and politicians. And I mean, the kind of brief some of these fellows take, some of these.
You are a very
बिल्कुल सही सर, बिल्कुल
sir, you are a very decorated officer.
हमने ऐसे भी lawyer देखे.
Sir, you are a very decorated officer. You are straightway raising finger on the Congress regime.
लेकिन लाल किले में जाके
Congress है.
कोट पहन लिया जाके. हमने ऐसे भी lawyer देखे हैं.
सर आपने ऐसे भी लॉयर देखे हैं, ये देश अगर आजाद है तो कांग्रेस की वजह से आजाद है. आज कश्मीर आपके पास है तो कांग्रेस की वजह से आपके पास है. आप क्या बात कर रहे हैं सर? अगर कांग्रेस को खड़ा किया है तो
कांग्रेस पार्टी. Please keep me out of politics.
सर आपने जहां काम किया है वो भी कांग्रेस ने क्रिएट किया था. आप समझे कांग्रेस ने क्या क्या कंट्रीब्यूट किया देश को? सिर्फ कांग्रेस को एक्यूज बनाने से काम नहीं चलेगा. आप अगर ICJ चले गए हैं, विक्ट्री हुई है, अच्छी बात है, बट एट द सेम टाइम टुमारो पाकिस्तान विल आल्सो गो टू ICJ.
वो छोड़ दीजिए.
If you catch any of their terrorists, they will also go there.
मैंने कहा
you have given them chance to go to ICJ every time now. Every day they will approach United Nations for everything.
We know their reputation.
You have paved the way to the Pakistan so that they can raise the Kashmir to United Nations again now.
Just because you are a lawyer, you can't get away with anything in this country. And don't quote, you know, those books don't impress me. Law is a matter of common sense.
It is a legal system. Colonel RSN Singh, it is a legal system. And Harish Salve is a legal expert. His father was also in Congress. He was also in a government in Congress regime.
I salute that man.
So if you are talking about his legal expertise, don't take advantage. BJP should not take advantage of his expertise.
नहीं, मैंने किसी का नाम नहीं लिया. मैं तो उनको सलूट कर रहा हूँ. आपको उसमें तकलीफ हो?
नहीं, हम सलूट करें, हम क्यों सलूट नहीं करेंगे?
हर लॉयर इस तरह का पेट्रियट हो. लेकिन हाँ हमको ऐसे लॉयर नहीं चाहिए इस देश में. हमको कि एक कोई ब्रीफ लेते हैं जो कि देश के इंटीग्रिटी के सवाल हो, और दूसरी तरफ बड़े वो शिपी सूज में कि द कंट्री नीड्स मी आई विल ऑफर माय सर्विसेज.
कर्नल साहब इतने ज्यादा इमोशनल मत हो जाओ. आई एम रिमाइंडिंग यू 1985 में उनके फादर चुनाव लड़ रहे थे बैतूल से. मिस्टर NKP Salve, I was there and he was hit in head and his head was bleeding and I was with him by the RSS people, by the BJP people. And Harish Salve is a son of.
यार तुम कहाँ से फिर BJP कांग्रेस ले आ रहे हो यार?
Okay, one second.
Let me come in. Bringing BJP and Congress.
Let me come in. Dr. Sameer Kaul. 1 second. Hold your fire, gentlemen. Relax. 1 second. Dr. Sameer Kaul, let me bring you in. Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi is also there. General Bakshi is also there. Let's open this up a little bit. I want to ask you a simple question, Dr. Kaul, today. Has the Modi government perfected the art of catching Pakistan off balance? Simple question.
Well, that is actually not a question. It is a suggestion and a comment that you're making. Now, I'm left with only two options. Either to completely agree with you and say, yes, it is. But using my brains and using my logic, I would say that today what has happened in case of Kulbhushan Jadhav and the ICJ staying the execution till its final decisions after the due deliberations at the ICJ is a good thing. Because I am happy, we are all happy, as Indians we are happy that we have...
I asked you a very straightforward question.
Gone forward in
obviously it's a good thing. But a good thing...
No,
one second. It's a good thing because someone thought out of the box, had the courage of conviction.
You're losing the context between a question and a statement.
No, I'm not. How am I? I'm asking you. Has the Modi government perfected the art of catching Pakistan
has the Modi government done a surgical strike judicially? No. The future will tell us whether that is true. Because in case similar, I actually believe that India, being a signatory to the United Nations, should go and believe and offer itself for all the deliberations of its various member organs, even the ICJ in future,
you're not answering
like
my
all
question.
Civilized countries.
I'm asking you a straightforward question.
I don't know why
are you making me dance around? I'm asking you a simple question. You were part, no, hang on. The National Conference was part of the UPA. This matter of Captain Kalia in a different context came up.
Yeah.
Why couldn't you have gone to the ICJ? Very simple question, sir. Give me 3 reasons why you felt that it was not desirable. The father begged. Father wrote many representations, begged the UPA, help me, help me, help me. You never did. You never did.
We were never in a position.
What do you mean you were never in a position?
We were never in a position to do anything like
NKP Salve's NKP Salve's son.
And as somebody,
one second. NKP Salve's son, Harish Salve was still at hand.
Hanging down.
Khurshid was still at hand. Sibbal was still at hand. You have Chidambaram who was at hand. You've had the best lawyers at your beck and call. Surely they could have applied their mind, protected our interests.
And if the considered opinion was not good enough, sorry.
How can opinions change? And look at the outcome. Look at the outcome
today. Let's find out. Because
is it as simple as that? Dr. Trivedi, let me bring him in. Is it a matter of opinion or is it a matter of will?
Actually decide.
I'm asking you.
Allow me to talk. Future will decide whether this has been such a great idea. I believe in it.
Sir, because I believe in transparency. Getting a lease of life, he would be hanging in the next 10 days. Don't you know tomorrow tomorrow was a very important day. Tomorrow was a very important day in the appeals process. That has been short-circuited. He could have been hung tomorrow. Do you know this?
I'm not denying that.
Then what do you mean? That the future will tell you? For God's sake, the man has got a lease of life, sir. For him, every 1 hour, every 1 day is a boon.
Listen to some logic. I am saying the reason is... Sorry, I agree with you, but I'm saying
Rahul, it is a matter of
all the time about rhetoric. It's about trying to understand why the UPA government at that point of time did not take
resolve and
in the case of Modi government, because they usually have this bugbear
to safeguard the interest of every citizen.
Of them in return.
In whatever circumstances he or she may be. And in my opinion, there is one more conclusion of this.
What is the conclusion, sir?
Rahul,
what is the conclusion? Doctor, what is the conclusion? Dr. Trivedi, what is the conclusion?
The conclusion is that the era of India as a soft state is over. Be it a strategic aspect, be it diplomatic aspect, be it a judicial aspect. On the strategic aspect, we have proven it by surgical strike. On diplomatic aspect, the clear, assertive stand of Prime Minister on Baluchistan. And on judicial aspect, today we have proved. So it means the Modi government has taken a proactive, assertive stand on to corner Pakistan. So the era was, at the time of Congress rule, was the era when India was called a soft state. So that time is over. And one more thing, I would like to add what Alimuddin Khan was saying. As far as the conflict between India and Pakistan is concerned, it is a unique conflict all over the world, in which the more powerful and bigger country is the victim, and less powerful and smaller country is creating problem. This is because India was
General Bakshi has been raising his hand. He's a disciplined man. Let him finish. He's a disciplined soldier. Does it come down to conviction?
Okay.
General Saab, does it come down to conviction? Simple question.
Rahul, I think today, excuse me, today a very significant thing has happened. the nation state of India has demonstrated that it will not abandon any of its soldiers, former soldiers and citizens who are in trouble with such rogue states. It will not leave them to the wolves. And the very clear message has gone, don't worry, we are with you. We will get you back. We will get you back. We will bring you back. We will get you out of this trouble. We will not leave you to the wolves. I am afraid in the case of Captain Saurabh Kalia, we left him to the wolves.
Left them to the wolves.
We left him to be tortured. And all that we were left with was his dead body, bearing the marks of atrocious torture.
Absolutely.
You know, what happened to his
wish
father?
we had shown.
Have you seen the way
we had shown conviction.
Stammers?
We had shown conviction, sir.
Have you
when
seen
Captain
the way
Saurabh Kalia's father begged on national channels for the government to support him. The UPA didn't. They need to answer for this, actually. They need to come out and explain. It's no longer good enough for Salman Khurshid to say, well, the hesitation that we had at that time was not to invite the ICJ in areas where we would not be comfortable. The implication is that the NDA has committed a strategic blunder. They need to explain this.
Rahul, when Salman Khurshid or Alimuddin Khan said that they do not want to get any third-party intervention, it looks ridiculous because it is the Congress party which has brought United Nations in Kashmir.
Well, there you go. You could say that. You could say that. Nehru did it. We're leaving it to that. Gentlemen, we are leaving it to that. Navika Kumar joins me here. Navika Kumar on News Hour.